Previously on Spooky Legends of Susanville.
I just got the chills.
I thought I heard the word safety.
Safety.
And somebody else just said stop it, I think. What's going on? Is someone hurting you? Holy shit, something just went on my back.
Yeah, me too. That was weird.
Yeah, okay, you got our attention. Good?
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 Good.
Yeah, good. That's why we came here.
Founded along a wagon trail over 160 years ago, the small town of Susanville, California is seemingly home to countless spirits. From haunted homes and cemeteries to mysterious tunnels and an abandoned hospital. I'm Kenny, your captain, and welcome to Spooky Legends of Susanville. Well, welcome back, everyone. In this video, we're continuing our exploration of the Hotel Mount Lassen in Uptown Susanville. Well, when we last left off, we were conducting a spirit box session on the second floor, where we had physical contact. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, stop this video now, and I'll have a link in the description of this video to part 1. So we wrapped up our spirit box session on the second floor and decided to go up to the third floor. We're still a little bit shaken up. We headed down to the end of the hall to room 301. This is the room where the former hotel manager was murdered back in the mid-90s, I believe. His name was Jack Shepard. So we just entered this room, and we're starting to feel a little bit at ease after what we experienced downstairs. And that's when we had some bumps, and the EMF reader, picked something up.
You don't get the male violent EVGDs that I got downstairs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it does feel differently in here than it did down that hallway.
Yeah, massive difference. And
Whoa, I just heard it. Was that
What
you
was
stepping?
that?
I heard a bump from above us.
there's
Oh,
another
no.
one.
All right. We know what happened in this room. Are you still here? Did you just say something? Where were you when this happened? Are you over here in the corner? In front of the window, did you say?
Well, there you can clearly hear a voice from the spirit box saying, "They slit my throat."
Whoa, someone just yelled something. Really? Are you still here? You can go. Did you just say save me? We can't help you. It's already done. You go ahead and speak up like your friends downstairs. They were pretty vocal. Come on. You know what happened in here had to be really violent and intense. We heard they cut your throat open and they wrapped you in a sheet and threw you in your bed.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I put this footage out a few years back, and since then, I've learned more about what actually happened here. I was contacted by a Joshua Money. Mr. Money was one of the men involved in the killing of Jack Shepard. He wrote me a very long message on Messenger, and it detailed his account of what happened in that room that night. And I'm going to read to you some of what he said to me. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But yeah, I'm gonna warn you, it gets pretty intense from here on in. Let's see here. He starts out, all right, Kenny, here goes. So I met Jack when I was a runaway at the age of 14, almost 15. I was in the hotel sleeping behind a soda machine on the second floor because it was warm. He found me and offered to let me stay with him. In the beginning, it was all right. He bought me clothes and cigarettes and such, let me drink and run amok. It was perfect for me, and I thought he was amazing. He gave me money whenever I asked for it, and I was allowed to do anything I wanted. When I was 15, I was caught by the police for a runaway warrant and returned to my foster home. I took off again and was picked up by the sheriff's department and ended up in a juvenile hall in Red Bluff. He then spent the next year bouncing from one group home to another, also being a runaway, hanging out with other kids like him, sleeping in abandoned buildings. Let's see. It says it got to the point where things got to where I was always getting arrested and sent back to juvenile hall. And at 16, I was implicated and enlisted in the Army. That didn't slow me down, though. And after burning out in Butte County, I ended up in the streets of San Francisco. I ended up back in Chico, where I got arrested for burglary, into a storage locker at Chico High to steal cameras to sell for food money. I had nowhere to go. I called Jack, who came and got me and took me back to Susanville, to the hotel. And that's where things started to get weird. He goes on to write, he bought me my booze, cigarettes, and whatever I wanted, so I stuck around. It started with him climbing into my bed at night, and when I was passed out, and playing with me. It escalated him trying to have sex with me. I never allowed it, but he never stopped trying. I had nowhere to go and couldn't go home. I was embarrassed and very introverted because I didn't think anyone would believe me. When a friend finally convinced me to go to the police, all I did was come and do a welfare check. No follow-up, no arrest. I talked to the owners of the old Mahogany Room restaurant at the hotel. I talked to people I thought were my friends, and instead of getting help by them, I was ostracized and called a faggot. In 1994, Jamie had been released from San Quentin and had rented a room at the hotel. We started hanging out, and one night we were drinking and getting high. He asked me if I was really gay because I was sleeping with a girl he knew and played it all out for him. He was pissed and went to Jack about it, and Jack kicked him out and told him to mind his own business. Jamie was pissed and wanted to kick his ass. I told him no, because you got to understand, nobody else was looking out for me, just to help me, but Jack threatened my life and even beat on me several times. One time he even threw a plate of food at me. Well, about a week after Jack kicked Jamie out, I was passed out, and Jack had his way with me and did whatever he wanted. When I woke up the next day, I was sore, and there was blood in my bed and in my underwear. I wasn't sure what to do, so I took a shower, and Jack came in and tried to kiss me and asked me if I was okay. Of course I lied and said yes, but inside I was scared to death and hurt bad. After I got dressed, I went downstairs and drove to Jamie's house and told him what had happened. Jamie was pissed to the point that he started punching holes in the wall of his own house. I started to drink Jack and Coke and did some speed. And that night, Jamie said, we're going to go fuck Jack up. So I went along. As soon as Jack saw us at the door, he tried to push the door shut, but Jamie just pushed his way in and started beating the living shit out of Jack. He held Jack down and told me to hit him, so I did. Then I just went apeshit and started hitting him with shit laying around the room until he was a mushy mess. Then Jamie told me we couldn't leave him like that because he'd go back to prison. So he started stabbing him, and eventually he told me to hold him. He crawled on top of him and cut his throat. I'm not sure how it escalated, but it did. He died on the floor at the foot of his bed in room 301. They say we wrapped him in a blanket, but I don't remember that happening. He said that they then took off for Myersville, and they were arrested 3 or 4 days later. Jamie cut a deal with the DA. There were numerous deputies that went to the DA on my behalf because they knew what had happened to me, and I believe that's why they allowed me to plead to manslaughter. I was young and dumb and have to live with my choices that night for the rest of my life. It cost me nearly 10 years of my life in prison and cost me a career in the military, and I don't know if there was another way out of the situation or not. I'm not that same person. I'm wiser now, and I'm very protective of my friends and family. I do not have the right to exact my own form of justice on others, regardless of how horrible they are. People say Jack was a good man and friend, but they don't know the Jack I knew. All I want is for those who are open minded enough to understand why, even if they don't agree with it. I'm not looking for absolution, only understanding. I don't want people agreeing with my methods or to call it justified, just for it to be understood. All right, and he finishes up with I'd like the opportunity to make my peace with what happened there that night and perhaps help him move on to wherever he's supposed to be, because I guarantee he's still there. Plus, for my own peace, I'd like to apologize to him and my younger self for the overall tragedy that occurred there that night. I hope this adds some clarity. That's it. God be with you in your ventures, brother. All right, and thank you very much, Joshua Money. Wow. I said it was going to get hardcore, and yeah, it got pretty hardcore. All right, and with that, we're going to go back to our spirit box session in room 301.
What'd you hear? C? I heard C. Thought I heard you said leave, is what I thought I heard. You don't want to be talked to either?
Well, Missy thought she was getting some kind of shadow anomaly in the corner when we had 3 knocks coming from the adjacent corner room.
Where? Where you got a shadow? Where?
In the corner.
In the corner?
Up. You look at the shadow.
Uh-huh.
See above it?
Oh.
It's moved like 3 or 4 times.
Is that what you're seeing?
That whole shadow up that right
Really?
there.
Are you sure it's not my light or any others?
Nope.
Okay.
I kept my room light the same spot the whole time. I've been recording. The whole time. I just got the massive chills.
Come on, buddy. Make this little reader go off. Something. Not touching it, huh? Are you recording? Yes, you are. Good. All right. You just hear another one? I heard that too.
I heard a tap, tap, tap
Yeah?
in here.
In here.
In here?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we went into that room, and we had, a lot more activity.
I think that's from creaking from the, maybe, no?
No, that's not.
No, that's not, yeah, again. So,
Maybe this is the room that.
maybe it happened, yeah, I just got to chill up my back again, just like I did downstairs.